This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. From streaming to shopping, Prime helps you get more out of your passions. So whether you're a fan of true crime or prefer a nail-biting novel from time to time, with services like Prime Video, Amazon Music, and fast free delivery, Prime makes it easy to get more out of whatever you're into or getting into. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to learn more.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Before we get out of here and before we get to Juju, is there anything that we missed today that you guys were dying to talk about? Because Greg Cody, again, has inserted himself in the center of the Stanley Cup final.
Yes, I have been. I want to talk about college baseball. Been dying to talk about what happened to the SEC and how embarrassing that was. For the first time in history, the number one team in the nation failed to get out of just the regional in Vanderbilt. They got a record 13 teams to regionals, and yet the conference with the most teams in the super regional is the ACC with 5, including improbably the Miami Hurricanes. And I will be the first in line to apologize to JD. I didn't think you were a program builder. I hated the direction of this club.
JD Arteaga, for those who don't know who the manager of the University of Miami baseball is.
JD got really hot for 2 weeks, and then they fell off the face of the earth. And if you want to know about baseball, the Miami Hurricanes were they had lost 7 of their last 8 entering that regional. Southern Miss had won 18 of their last 19. Miami escapes that Southern Miss regional. Baseball. They're getting hot at the right time. Now, whether or not this is a fluke, I think you could still be skeptical. But I had reported exclusively on Kane's Insight that JD was coming back no matter what, even if they didn't make a regional. And I've got egg on my face, and I'm glad. I like admitting when I'm wrong, but I like it more when people prove me wrong. JD Arteaga and the Miami Hurricanes have. Now, hopefully, they can remain hot because they've shown through certain segments of the season they can beat anybody. They head to Louisville next. We'll see. But the college baseball regionals and super regionals have been tremendous, and I cannot believe what happened to the SEC given the resources that baseball conference has.
Does he get to say that he likes being wrong, being able to admit he's wrong?
It shows growth. It shows growth. It's a maturity that no one else on this show displays because everyone else, it's like the jaws. I need to get the jaws of death to win an argument or a debate. Brian Marchand, yeah, good player. God, I can still not like him, but I won't say that he's a bad player anymore because guess what? He showed me good player. I love it when Miami Hurricanes especially do this.
I admitted I was wrong when I said I was going to play more video games when my kid was born, and now I can't.
That's not what I'm asking you. I don't think of Mike as someone who likes to admit when he's wrong.
Who looked Jim Larrañaga in the eye and said, you know what, Coach? Around Thanksgiving, I fired you. And then you went to an Elite 8 and Final 4. I'm sorry, Coach. Who looked Max Strus in those beautiful eyes and said, I had you guys wrong.
So you like to do this.
I love being proven wrong. Guys, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I was wrong about that.
Proven wrong.
I like to admit when I'm wrong. The diet didn't start on Monday.
Paul Maurice, you guys fired him. Bobrovsky was pronounced by everybody in this town. They were pronouncing his name the same way that Charles Barkley pronounces his name. Sergei Bobrovsky.
2 all-time references right there. Paul Maurice, Zazzle called him the murderer of fun. That was trademark. Well, a lot of people, I had to delete tweets about Paul Maurice. He showed me.
You guys were so happy to hear Katie hate the Panthers. My God, the 3 of
That's
you.
real fandom. It was great to hear that if Matthew Tkachuk went over there, she would hate Matthew Tkachuk forevermore.
Until he scored his first goal.
That's someone that loves
puck. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. He's Greg Overrated. Juju Gotti has some polls to update. Juju, what are your thoughts here on a Greg Cody Wednesday? Greg Cody is complaining that he has not had a Greg Cody Tuesday, even though this week we got extra Greg Cody, which is good for everybody involved. Everyone gets happy when there's more Greg Cody, but he's complaining because he wants his Tuesdays.
Correct.
Yes. And I was wrong when I thought Julius Randle was an NBA player. I was wrong. Like, I want to admit he's
Famer.
Ass.
Hall of Famer.
A Hall of Famer. Yeah, man. I think my brother Greg Cody, whatever he wants, he should get these days. And I think that we should support Greg Cody a little more. I think Billy is right. Band of brothers, watch it sometimes, fellas. Somebody come at one of our own. It don't matter if he's right or wrong. We just have his back. You dig it?
But
Greg
he's Cody, old man.
Right. And you're using words like senile. Come on, man. That's disrespectful. That's below the belt. If you're going to keep it sports, keep it sports. Tell us your opinion. My brother is not senile. Salute to G.
Thank you.
I've got to be honest, though, the way that we played that sound, because we played it as two different sounds, the senile old man had escaped me a couple of times. And so that seems to be the place that we're crossing the line that gets Greg to say coward and everything else. Like, it's not... There's nothing else that's even that much of a disagreement. It's that they came at you disrespectfully with senile old man, and Juju is saying we have to stand up for Greg Cody no matter what.
Right. He's dedicated his life to this show. 20 years in a row, man. Come on, man. We got to have each other's back. If somebody come at anybody on the show, no matter who it is, we got to stand behind them. That's why I respect Bill Simmons a little bit. He didn't just talk about Pablo Torre. He said, brother, you know what? Come on, embarrass me. And Pablo stepped up to the plate and knocked it out of the park.
My dad could be jinxing the Panthers, and that's what we're That's really what we're looking out for.
Please.
We're protecting the Panthers.
Bulletin board is dead.
Right.
Billy.
Hey, Ant-Man, yes, you can dunk on everybody, but guess what? You don't have one of these. Until you have one of these, you're overrated.
Yeah, hold up that Stanley Cup. Number 1 and number 2 got eliminated. Vandy and Texas. Did you see how Vandy got eliminated? A ground rule double. If that doesn't bounce over the wall, Wright State gets eliminated. But instead it bounces over, dude's forced back to third, and Wright State has an improbable upset. I mean, hardball.
Billy,
right?
We didn't talk about softball enough yesterday either. Billy, why were you laughing a moment ago?
Just because we're going to bury Greg Cody so that the Panthers don't get jinxed because he said something that we don't like. It's insane.
Right?
You just don't want to tug on Superman's cape. You just don't want to do that.
Say it after. Once we win again, write that Mick overrated column.
Nothing but tugging on Superman's cape over there.
Greg Cody is not Superman. No one's ever confused Superman with a senile old man.
Neither is McDavid, based on his track record in Stanley
His
Cup.
track record is if you were to make a Superman comp in that league, he'd be the best.
Really?
Yes, he is the best.
Yeah, unfortunately, he has his kryptonite. It's called the Stanley Cup Final.
But he's a senile old man.
That was a bar.
We need to get him to come in next week dressed as Superman. I want him, not McDavid.
The George Reeves version.
I want the Greg Cody version of Superman, where he comes in here and he shows McDavid what's what about everything that's happening here. Juju, are there any thoughts that you have on what I believe to be one of the most shocking revelations I've ever heard on the air on Meadowlark Media, which is David Sampson grinning maniacally while saying how it is that he had a black church in his sway because he's a manipulative. It's great.
Yes.
It's great.
It was hilarious. Him in front of a black church saying, "Can I get an amen?" It doesn't get any better than that. I want video of that. That's fantastic. It's just it makes your skin crawl. It's so wonderful. I'm serious.
I don't think that
was such a weird minute.
Wait a minute. That sentence, it makes your skin crawl. It's so wonderful. I don't think those words have been thrown together before.
But he's a senile old man.
Nah, I don't use that right now. Yeah, bro. I look. When he said, "Can I get an man?" I was like, "Oh, I couldn't go back into the couch anymore." I'm like, "What are you doing? Don't play in our face like that." But hey, man, the stadium got built, so hats off to the bro.
I don't want to take my hat off to that. I don't want to tip my cap to it. I don't want to be anything but offended by it. And again, I will say this, and I will have no shame in it. Black people, the second in line on most offended people by what David Sampson said and did there. Guy Abera. When you've been in South
Carolina.
No,
Also, he's Jewish.
No, but it's not. Yes, it's not. Right.
It's probably the third.
That's right. That's correct.
Gayavera.
That's right. But it's look the way he does it. Gayavera. He doesn't know how to pronounce anything. That man promised me in Little Havana there would be an economy there. There's just still that dumbass Wendy's.
Gayavera.
We're getting that live there. They're building that.
We also have the Dead Flamingo
Look,
on
that guy
Cayocho.
Yeah, we do.
Old Gayavera promised us that the economy of Little Havana would come back with that stadium. And he had this journalist in his pocket rah-rahing on behalf of how South Florida would rise up.
And you work with both.
It's unbelievable.
Gayavera.
Tetas.
I hate it.
It's just terrible. I don't understand how
The R is so hard
How
there.
can your Spanish be that bad? How can it be that bad? I can't believe
Gayavera.
Greg Cody's the only one who ate Billy's Pastelitos.
They were good.
Thank you,
They were
Greg.
super
Estaban
good.
seco.
Thank you, Greg.
Just good.
What was the jam in there? Like guava? What
Yeah,
was
with guava. Yeah.
It was kind of.
It was like
Gaiva.
What kind
Super
of question
good.
was that?
super duper
It's
good.
usually the
Thank
jam
you,
on
Greg.
He doesn't
I've
know-
seen apple ones.
Guys, do you know that when he says he doesn't like Cuban food, it's because he hasn't had any of
Oh,
it?
I've had it a lot. Yeah, I just don't prefer it.
So much so that you say, "What kind of
You
jam
don't
is that
even
in there?"
know guava? You don't know what it
yeah.
is?
Yeah, there are other kind of pastelitos.
Yeah.
There are.
I mean, please.
Guava is always guava.
Guava's
Like,
confusing too, though, because like the plant could be like a white guava too.
Yeah,
There's a red
could-
guava, a white guava. You
Right.
don't know.
Could be
Seen-
strawberry and
Seen
guava.
apple
right,
jam
you know.
pasolitos lately.
There you go.
We're going to
Thank
get
you,
to the
Mike.
polls in a second, but just one more time here because you just heard Tony tonight, and Tony is doing something that is a UFC hustle that has gotten very popular for him when he does the watch-alongs on Saturday nights off UFC fights. Tell people what you've got going on because we've got an assortment of things to promote here because Juju is popping up after all of these basketball games on Alley-Oop with some of his friends and doing some live and fun content that's different from what we're doing around here.
We've been doing alley-oops together. Me and Juju have been doing basically every single one of them except one together, and they've been super fun. I appreciate him for having me on and nerding out on basketball. Yeah, Saturday, UFC 316, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley 2, Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena 1. A lot of fun stuff at the Dead Flamingo starting at 10, but that's only after the hockey show.
If they're fighting like the first time, do we have to put the one on it? Or?
No, but I'm just,
Okay.
doing a thing.
Roy, the hockey show, again, because we've got a busy weekend coming up here with an assortment of stuff. This is June 6th, 8 p.m. It's a live watch-along with you and who else?
It's going to be David Dwork. It's going to be Rosie and Ethan from the hockey show. We are going to do a live stream and a watch-along on Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and Panthers.
Must win?
Must win.
For who, Billy?
Well, I said Game 1 was a must-win. Roy's now elevating it to Game 2.
But who were you
Well,
saying?
Game 2 would be a must-win for the team that loses Game 1. But also for the team that wins Game 1, you really set the tone. If you're up 2-0, and if you're the Panthers on the road, coming back home 2-0. But never forget what happened with the Panthers last year. They were up 3-0, and then they ended up almost blowing that series.
Who is it more of a must-win for Game 1 tonight? Game 1, not yeah.
He goes, yeah.
Not yeah. Who is
Tonight
it more,
is a must-win.
For whom?
For hockey.
For whom? For
I think the real winner is going to be us, though. The fans.
You're not going to win this, Dan.
Okay, so
You know?
who has the more must-win probabilities
You know
on
what's
their
weird
shoulders?
is he's like
That's
this
a math
on
friend's
Mondays
question,
too.
not mine.
It's all he has is a graphic. He's like this all the time. And on Wednesday, it seems ridiculous. But what the ridiculous thing is he's always like this.
Well, this is what you say, but I will say that if you want to take over something because you're jealous of Wild Willie Wednesday,
I'm not jealous. Don't do that. I just find this whole
You
practice
can have
asinine.
Wednesday next week. I'll give you Wednesday next week, Mike.
let me
Wild
finish.
Billy, not Willie.
Let me, it's Wild Willie
Thank you,
Wednesdays.
Greg.
Let me
It
finish.
says Billy right up
It's
there.
Wild
It does
Willie.
say
It's
it.
It
Wild
says
Willie.
Billy.
It does say
wrong.
it.
It's incorrect.
And the Joker's on it for some
It's
reason.
Wild Willie Wednesdays.
Thematically, it's confusing.
But Mike, if you're not jealous of Billy and Wild Willie Wednesdays, I just want you to know that Jason, who's never met a bad idea he doesn't want to share with
Cut to Jason.
Jason, our director, said to me, "Hey Dan, if you want to, I can do some imaging for Mild Mike Mondays."
Hey! All right.
Right, and now Jason is fired.
And so I said to
What
Mike,
Hildy said
I'm like,
before she
run
was
that.
gone.
You might want to run that by Mike. It sounds like a bad idea. You might want to get Mike's authority.
Being called mild by Jason is wild.
Mild. Mild Mike Mondays. Did he eat any pastelitos? Did Jason run off? That's when you
No.
know the pastelitos weren't any good.
They were. Greg told me that's the only acceptance I
If
need.
Gino and Jason don't get them,
If Jason doesn't have some flakes in
I
his
go
beard, yeah. Juju, what do we have on the polls, please, at Levitard Show?
Congratulations to Coco Golf for making it to the semifinals as well. Is Game 1 ever a must win? 62% of the audience says yes, it is.
See, I told you. What are you talking about? It's the Stanley Cup Final.
No, that I can't be wrong about this.
You are.
If the Knicks would have won Game 1 versus the Pacers, would Tibbs still have his job? 74% of the audience says yes, he would.
That's funny, right? That's funny. You guys will grant me, no matter what we're arguing on Tibbs, that's funny.
we own you. We run you. And we fire our coach, too.
Right. Also, congratulations to Austin Ainge for being hired by the
How'd that
Jazz as the
happen?
next president.
He works hard. That's how it happens.
How did that happen?
Oh.
What is that connection? It's just
Right, talent.
Hard work.
It's just merit. How did an Ainge get that job?
Best available Ainge.
Probably sat in a corner for a few years, did some hard work, and grinded his way up.
Yep. Is the bulletin board dead? 65% of the audience says yes, it is.
How can you guys say that when Greg Cody twice now has made him the center? He's made himself the centerpiece of the NHL Stanley Cup final. How can you say that? Connor McDavid's father is bitching about Cody at the elbow room because
Last year, not this year yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
I know. Don't tell Dan he can't do that again, because Dan will make sure we get there again. We're gonna find out about McJesus's mom.
You know what, Dan? One of those off days when they're down here, I'll go to the elbow room for the show.
Who did McDavid's?
Thanks, Chris.
Roy, what's the backstory here? McDavid's dad went and sought out Dwork, or he talked to somebody.
I believe it was Ethan that was at the elbow room and talked to him.
No, wasn't Zaslow? Like, Zaslow was really upset at the whole Greg Cody thing, too, because, like, word got back.
It was someone 5 reasons. I remember that. It was one of the 5 reasons.
I thought he went up to Rose.
Alex,
Yeah.
yes.
I went, saw him at elbow room, and he,
Okay, well put.
yeah.
Good dismount. Good, excellent exit to the show there.
You guys know the story. He saw him at elbow room, and
Yes,
How do we know it was his dad?
Yes. All
Could have been a
excellent.
dad impersonator.
Good question.
Yes,
Crazy Cody wins.
mild Mike Mondays. What is that idea?
I don't.
They all start with M.
Oh, I didn't see that.
My energy is far more manic than mild.
Of course, I had not seen that. If you put the 3 M's together, boom, give us $500 million.
Is it a dopey hat?
That number was not announced.
Is it a dopey hat? 90% of the audience says yes, it was. And those are your polls.
That's it. I want to get back to Monday's polls. There were some good polls this week.
I'm changing my list, by the way. I said based on current form. Chucky's not a top 10 player.
Series predictions on the way out here?
Moving Swaggy up to number 10.
Oh, we'll get so much Homer here.
Series predictions
you know
on the way
what?
out?
Okay, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to shock people.
I hate that I'm going to do it.
Don't do it, Dan.
I hate that I'm going to do it. I believe the Panthers will lose to this team. I don't want to do that.
Tonight or overall?
Overall. Tonight's a must-win, obviously.
Thank you for offsetting.
Now you see what we talk about.
Well, no, Dan,
That's good balance.
That's
right
good balance.
There,
He's restoring order. That's great. Yeah, I mean, he's on one hand killing our team's chances, but then he's like, let me give you a little bit bulletin board material. I bang the drum for this team, and yet I'm picking against
But you guys are all homers, and I know which way you're going to go on this, and I just think it's toss-up enough that you can believe in your idea of team. I believe in the idea that this person is an immortal, and he's about to prove it.
I'm down the middle on this. I'm going Panthers in 6.
I think in order to be the immortal that I believe McDavid to be, that he not only has to slay a dragon, that the Panthers are obviously as champions, but has to do it to this defense, this coach, this team, as their coach says, this is the best team of my lifetime. It's exactly the thing you have to go through, and I believe immortals show you that they're immortal.
Oh, immortal.
Not last year.
He's an immortal.
He's going to be an immortal.
He's already an immortal.
Is he?
I think
Yes.
I think
He's
you're
a Hall of
born
Famer
an
already.
immortal. You don't become
Everybody's
an
in the
immortal.
Hall of Fame.
Thank you,
That's
Greg.
the NBA.
the other Hall of Fame.
He's
That's
at 28 years old. He's already compiled a Hall of Fame career.
No, he had a great career.
It's
Look,
irrefutable.
He's not as much an immortal as Mark Andrews.
Good callback.
Yeah.
I could have said that a lot cleaner
Yeah.
too. I thought I had the dismount.
Yeah, well, it's just I had to remind you. Yeah, I'm going Oilers in 7 too.
Panthers in 6.
Yeah, I knew you guys were gonna. It's all Panthers and Panthers and Panthers and
I
Panthers.
literally just picked Oilers
He
in 7.
just said the Oilers.
Guy who banged a drum, calling the rest of us homers. by the way.
Cheerleader, literally.
You said Oilers in 7 because you like to ratchet up the stakes so that it's between whether or not you get to be.
Well, no, he likes to be
spectacularly
proven
I would like for
loudly
McDavid
wrong.
to prove Greg Cody wrong. Actually,
It's a hedge bet by you. You don't.
No,
you're not
no.
rooting. You're not rooting for McDavid to prove Greg Cody wrong.
No, don't get inside my head. I think I've seen both these teams all year. I think they're both a little bit better. We'll see if Skinner was what he was last series, then Edmonton wins this series. It'll be a great contest. The Hyman thing, I would have said Edmonton in 6 had the Hyman injury not happened, but I think this is going to be a great series, and I don't think there's going to be any shame in losing to the best player maybe ever in Connor McDavid. I think the Panthers have had a hell of a run. They're built to continue going. They're young enough to continue winning more cups and getting to this point. I just think they're going up against a demigod in Connor McDavid and a really good team that has done plenty of suffering.
Demigod.
Wow.
I got McDavid pooping his shorts.
There you go.
Cats and 4.
Juju gets it.
Cats in 7.
Wow.
McOverrated 0.
But he's a senile old man.
0.
0. You got him with the 0. You called him a coward. You got him with a 0.
We all got to be in a good series.
Yeah.
There isn't anybody that can be confident about this series because everyone's got it like 6, 7. It's going to be great.
Great series.
Just to close the loop, so if Greg simply shows up on Saturday, $1,000 is his.
Incorrect.
Got to do a little work.
Got to work and support the Tony broadcast. Be
Wanna
a
earn,
supportive
wanna
teammate.
learn.
Got to earn. Got to learn. Got
Peck of
to.
dirt.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
People think that a peck is a little thing. It's a big. It's a
lot.
big
Big old sack.
Yes.
Nelly Doogie in them.
Yeah.
Wild Bill.
Bill Cody.
Yep.
1448. Thank you, Juju.
1440.
Sorry, man.
14.
That's 2 houses down.
That's a fine. I was in the neighborhood.
That was Radke's address.
A couple doors down.
1440.